coming up on Carolina Week.
I think I'm gonna let an ICE agent take one of my kids.
ICE raids across the country spark fear and concern among many. The impact of the crack migration.
So I do understand the need to have equitable funding and also to be in class with people that didn't grow up in the same neighborhood as you.
How educational leaders are responding to changes in DEI policies. Plus, how much money should the state send to help those still recovering from Hurricane Helene? Governor says more than $1 billion. Republicans propose much less. Those details coming up.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
And welcome to Carolina Week. I'm Samantha Hoffman.
And I'm Madeline Amati. All right, we're going to start off this morning with some breaking news. A new executive action is expected to be signed today. At the center of the latest, transgender athletes. The Associated Press is reporting that President Trump is expected to sign an executive order this afternoon that will ban transgender athletes in women's sports. The order is expected to change the interpretation of Title IX and NCAA rules. Another top story, President Donald Trump says he wants the U.S. to take over the Gaza Strip amid the ongoing war. Officials around the world, including allies Britain and France, have criticized President Trump's plan to relocate the Palestinian population. There has also been bipartisan backlash.
Here on campus today, the issue of immigration is sparking conversation. More than 20 organizations are coming together today for a rally, speaking out against the chancellor. This comes after he announced he will comply with requests from law enforcement, including ICE. The announcement drew criticism from some members of the Carolina community who disagreed. Organizers of the protest, including the co-president of Students United for Immigrant Equality, says today a number of organizations will be taking a stand against anti-immigration policies.
Coming out and showing that support shows that we are big in numbers. We're not just going to sit there and let him talk about something that he doesn't know about, or something that he wants to empathize with, but clearly he's not, and we want to show that.
Our Sarah Jentz brings us the latest on the potential protest at the South Building. Sarah, what can we expect on campus later today?
Thank you, Sammy. I was just at South Building on the steps, and the UNC Facility Service was setting up a mobile security camera ahead of the event today at 3 p.m. Now, all this action stems from President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration, which has seen... Now, all this stems from President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration, which has seen a lot of action here on campus, but in the wider immigrant community of North Carolina. I talked to a number of people, and here is what they had to say.
Churches, schools, and hospitals, places protected under the Biden administration, now open to ICE raids. Pilar Rocha Goldberg is the president and CEO of El Centro Hispano, a non-profit organization that has seen an increase in calls recently from worried families.
There is a lot of fear. People are scared, to send the kids to school, to go everywhere.
The organization has hosted Know Your Rights workshops to inform immigrant families.
We are also putting together an ICE watch group. So when there is a rumor or somebody sees a suspicious activity, we send people to verify.
As immigration efforts continue to intensify, Chapel Hill and Carborough City say they will continue to prioritize student safety and well-being, but for many families, the uncertainty remains.
I've been getting a lot of extra calls from my clients and from people who just don't have representation.
But not everyone is unhappy. At UNC, President of the Student Republicans, Matthew Trott, says he supports the changes.
For myself, I'm really excited with everything that's happened since he's taken office.
When asked about the concerns raised by immigrant communities, Trott argues the changes are necessary.
Assuming they are, of course, undocumented immigrants, should understand that they did violate the law and that there are going to be repercussions.
For now, uncertainty remains high, leaving many immigrants in North Carolina unsure of what comes next. This is Sarah Jentz reporting for Carolina.
We certainly talked to a number of people, and immigration attorneys believe they will be legal challenges. How this plays out in court, we will keep you updated. Back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Sarah. I saw the effects of this policy firsthand in Durham's public schools, where parents are worried their children aren't safe from potential ICE raids. This comes after the Department of Homeland Security released a statement last month that ICE agents will no longer be banned from schools and churches. The district released a statement to parents sharing they plan to only comply with judicial warrants for individuals. Megan Reed is a second grade teacher at Creekside Elementary School. She says that Durham's diverse population has made the potential raids a common discussion topic for staff.
I am willing to risk my life to save my kids. You think I'm gonna let an ICE agent take one of my kids? Like, absolutely not.
Reed added that she does not know the legal status of her students because of the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Still, she says she's worried for parents picking up their children in carpool as they may be at risk.
All right, and Donald Trump says he is planning to eliminate the Department of Education. Tuesday, President Trump said he would like to eliminate the DOE using an executive order. According to the federal grants website, the department has over 4,000 employees and is responsible for a range of grants from K through 12. An executive order cannot shut down the department. The department was created by Congress, so only Congress can eliminate it. This would require a supermajority of 60 votes to pass. And some student researchers say they're worried about the effects of Trump's proposed federal funding freeze. The White House says they are not walking back on the pause, even after 2 federal judges blocked the executive order that would halt trillions of dollars. According to guidance from the university, some researchers could lose grant funds, receive stop work orders, or see programs canceled. The university alone receives $800 million in research funds. And UNC student Alejandro Mozera says his lab has already made changes.
It took away a lot of the, free range that we had with the amount of projects and the projects that we could do. So now I have less range as a kind of an individual researcher to work on my own projects.
And UNC Media Relations says that Director of Federal Affairs Kelly Dockham is representing the university in Washington, D.C. A new online resource page will continue to update the UNC community as things change going forward.
Apologize for those technical difficulties. Supporters of Donald Trump, though, say that his many executive orders have left them with mixed feelings. Trump has signed more than 40 executive orders since taking office on January 20th. Some of the notable orders have ended DEI programs and withdrawn from the World Health Organization. The College Republicans' President Matthew Trott says that he wishes the president did things differently.
I would prefer if some of these same policy goals were done through actual legislation, not executive orders, but I do recognize that that would take a lot longer, and that with regards to Trump's policy objectives.
All right, and new developments this morning, all of the bodies have been recovered following the deadly plane crash Wednesday. 66 of the 67 dead have been identified after a Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger airliner collided over the Potomac River near D.C. Wednesday. The helicopter was at around 300 feet in the air traffic control display, according to the National Transportation Safety Board. This would mean the helicopter was flying well above the 200 feet limit for helicopters over the Potomac. However, they need more data to confirm, and that cannot be done until the Black Hawk is recovered from the water, and that's expected to happen this week. Deputy Director of Aviation for the Army, Mark Ott, said this was a training mission to requalify the pilots for flight in the area.
And this story is personal to the UNC community. One of the pilots in the Army helicopter was a UNC alum. Captain Rebecca Loback graduated from UNC in 2019 as a distinguished military graduate, meaning she placed among the top 20% of cadets nationwide. Senior Braxton Brown met Loback when she was invited to a group of cadets from UNC to Fort Belvoir to see what being an Army pilot was like. Brown says that her investment in Carolina's ROTC program, even after she graduated, shows how selfless she was.
That really reflects on on her character and just her willingness to pour in and develop and mentor those people. Even if she had never met us, she still went out of her way to mentor us.
Brown says Carolina's ROTC program is planning a memorial for Captain Loback, but is still working with her family to decide how best to honor her legacy.
Coming up on Carolina Week.
It's not a list I want to be on.
How your vote may be impacted by recent challenges to the election.
All we're using AI for right now is to evaluate grammar and writing style.
And a look into who's really reading your application when applying to UNC.
Thank you for sticking with us. Governor Josh Stein says that Western North Carolina needs more than $1 billion to cover the most urgent rebuilding efforts 4 months after Helene. Stein asked for the money from NC lawmakers. He announced this during a press conference in Henderson County on Monday. The proposed budget includes $150 million to support businesses, $150 million for the rebuilding of homes, and at least $75 million for the repair of private roads and bridges. The billion-dollar proposal comes alongside programs like the $30 million small business grant portal that opened on Sunday. Still, Stein says that these will only cover a portion of the need. Lawmakers will meet in February to work on the budget and consider Stein's request. In the meantime, small business owners interested in the relief grant have until February 21st to apply.
A case challenging 60,000 voter ballots from the 2024 election is now headed to the state court. At issue, 66,000 votes cast in the election for a seat on the North Carolina Supreme Court. Among those on the list of voters whose eligibility is being questioned, Marlo Donato Kolb. Marlo found out her vote was being challenged after seeing her name pop up on an online database called the Griffin List. According to the NC State Board of Elections, Jefferson Griffin lost to Justice Allison Riggs by a slim margin of 734 votes, but sued, claiming voters identified were not legally registered to vote. The Board of Elections disagrees. Legal experts say if your name is on the list, there isn't much you can do. That leaves voters like Marlo feeling discouraged and hopeless.
I think devastating for the state, and certainly for me as someone who really cares about having my voice be heard. But also for, these 60,000 people. I'm just one of 60,000.
Is it me? Oral arguments are scheduled for Friday because the North Carolina Supreme Court called for a pause. The confirmation of the election results has been delayed.
The first round of UNC admissions decisions were just released, and the admissions team is stressing that the university is becoming more exclusive each year. According to the Vice Provost of Enrollment, Rachel Feldman, admission officers have received help from Measurement Incorporated, a Durham-based company since 2018. The system was implemented full-time in 2020, but does not have a major role in the process. Feldman says that AI is only used to check minor details on applicants' essays.
Now, we still do read behind it. We read all the essays, and if someone sees one of those scores and thinks they're really out of whack, they can change it. It just really relieves some of the stress and the time we have to spend on that.
Applications are up 15% since last year and 32% since 2023.
It's Black History Month. Carrboro kicked off its programming for the month with a visit from North Carolina State Superintendent Mo Green. Green, a Democratic newcomer, is the first Black superintendent in North Carolina history. On Monday night, he spoke to community members about the history of Black students in North Carolina's public schools. He also discussed his plan for preserving their future, the state's educational lottery, and the impact of public school underfunding and that they have on Black students. Green added that equity for all students is one of his priorities. Former president of FAMU and NC native Elmira Mangum says she remembers when equity wasn't there.
If you educate the least of us, then you will educate all of us equally. And the least of us doesn't necessarily have to be only about race. It can be about any number of different things.
I went to school when we were separate but equal. So we didn't have new books. We always had secondhand books that were handed down that had writing in them, etc. So the idea that I could get a fresh book, a new book that didn't already have writing in it was exciting to me.
So yesterday was just beautiful outside. It's a little chillier today. Let's take a look and see how people are handling the colder weather. We're going to head over to Megan, and she's going to let us know what the rest of the week looks like.
Thanks, Madeline. We're seeing some cooler temperatures today, so you're going to want to grab your jacket as you're headed out the door. You're also probably going to want to grab an umbrella with you just in case, because we're seeing some spotty showers as we head into noon and 3 p.m. today. As we head into this evening and later tonight, that's when the rain will really start to amp up. So as we move into Thursday, that's when we'll start to see the majority of the rain, but it should be pretty light rain. You'll just want to bring a jacket with you or a umbrella as well. As we move through the rest of this week, we'll have the rain on Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures will be very cool on Wednesday today. We'll see 46 today. And then we'll jump up to 68 as a warm front moves through the area on Wednesday night into Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll stick right around the 70s. And on Saturday and Sunday, we'll have mostly cloudy skies, but we'll have temperatures drop thanks to a cold front that's moving in on Friday night. Those temperatures will slowly come back up for your Sunday Super Bowl with temperatures around 74.
Coming up on Carolina Week, we have some pretty cool accomplishments from a few Carolina athletes. We're going to hear more from Sports Extra's Spencer Haskell right after the break. Welcome back. Now let's head over to Sports Extra's Spencer Haskell to hear about this week's accomplishments from UNC's very own. Spencer?
Thanks, Samantha. By this time next week, almost every spring sport at UNC will be back in action. But in the meantime, we'll start down in the Sunshine State, where the UNC women's golf team was back in action at the PDI Intercollegiate in Orlando. The team secured a third-place finish at 24 under par, and the Tar Heels fired a tournament-best 11 under in the final round to close the gap on Baylor and Duke. And this solid showing is an encouraging sign for what's to come later on this season. Now, it's no surprise that North Carolina women's tennis is off to a red-hot start, and two Tar Heels are getting well-deserved recognition for their performances in a statement win over the top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. North Carolina's Reese Brantmeyer and Alanis Hamilton earned ACC Player and Doubles Team of the Week honors after leading the Tar Heels to a statement win against Georgia. Brantmeyer sealed the victory at #1 singles, taking down the nation's top player, and teamed up with Hamilton for another key win in doubles. It's Brantmeyer's first ACC Player of the Week award after earning 4 Freshman of the Week honors 2 seasons ago. Hamilton, a top-ranked freshman, remains undefeated in doubles play, starting her career 7-0 alongside Brantmeyer. The pair has won 3 matches at #1 doubles and 4 at #2. Next up, the Tar Heels head to Evanston, Illinois for the ITA National Team Indoor Championship facing Pepperdine on Friday. Now over on the men's side, after a 4-0 win over the Campbell Camels yesterday, the Carolina men's tennis team took on NC Central in their second match of the day. The Heels started off the night strong, winning the doubles point, and in singles, freshman Chris Shue came out swinging with fierce backhands, winning his match and giving the team their second point on the night. Junior Konstantinos Strakoris battled in his singles match to secure the victory and the team's third singles point with his killer forehands. The Tar Heels would go on to sweep the Eagles 4-0 after graduate student Vladislav Melnik's opponent was forced to surrender his match due to injury.
With the coach and my teammates help, I really gain a lot of confidence when I play singles and doubles. So yeah, I'm really happy to get all the wins today.
From the tennis courts to the volleyball courts, the women's club volleyball team has begun their spring season, and Riley Schock brings us a story about what it means to be a club athlete here at Carolina.
Sports Extra students don't just stick to the sidelines. I'm in Fetzer Gym with 2 of our very own reporters, Bethany Pryor and Megan Patton. These lifelong friends are stepping out of the studio and onto the volleyball court.
Bethany and Megan didn't meet at Chapel Hill. These two have been playing volleyball together since they were 8 years old.
Bethany and I met each other at church when we were just like 3 years old almost. And then I kind of got into it with Bethany's mom being our coach when we were little, so that's how we started playing together.
Patton, a transfer to Carolina from App State her sophomore year, was taken under Pryor's wing. Pryor thought club volleyball would be a great way for Patton to get involved with Chapel Hill students.
I was like, Megan, we have volleyball tryouts, and she was like, okay, and came with me to like the open gyms, and she ended up really falling in love with it. The team fell in love with her, and the rest is history.
Sports Extra was another suggestion Pryor had for Patton. Initially, Patton was a biology major, wanting to pursue a career in orthodontics. After loving Sports Extra and reconnecting with her love for sports, Patton shifted her career path.
I did yearbook in high school, so I was really interested in like the sports admin and advertising aspect of it.
These two now work side by side in the classroom and on the court, furthering their similar career aspirations in sports broadcasting. UNC's women club volleyball team is playing their next tournament on March 1st at Triangle Volleyball Club, and they're hoping for a big postseason run. I'm Riley Schock reporting.
You can catch Megan and Bethany in the Sports Extra studio or dominating on the volleyball court. And now we're going to do something a little different. It's time for a new segment here on Carolina League. Welcome to Tar Heel Trivia. Samantha, thanks for joining me.
I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Are you ready for today's question?
I will try my best.
Which sport at UNC has a mother coaching her daughter? Is it A, field hockey, B, volleyball, C, lacrosse, or D, golf?
I think I'm going to stick with the theme and go with B, volleyball.
I got bad news for you, Samantha. That is not the right answer. The right answer is C, lacrosse, as Kate and Jenny Levy will be making history this season as the first mother-daughter duo in D1 women's lacrosse history.
That's great. I don't know too much about lacrosse, but I do know gymnastics has the first ever coaching duo, Dana and Sammy Durante. So
You learn
it's pretty
something
exciting.
new every day.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about Tar Heel athletics, be sure to tune into Sports Extra this Friday at 11:30 for the full weekend preview of Carolina athletics. We'll be right back after this.
Thanks for joining us. Now let's take a look outside. It's a little colder than it was yesterday.
Yeah, I have to say I'm bummed. Yesterday was 75 and sunny. I was out on the quad enjoying it all day. Did you do anything fun?
I did. I spent some time doing work outside, and it was just lovely to get a break from those pretty cold temperatures. It looks like people are a little chillier today, though.
I have to say I cannot wait for Sunday, though. The Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to have warm weather once again. So leading up to the game, I'm going to be outside.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to tune in. Maybe we'll get a Taylor Swift appearance.
Are you rooting for Chiefs, Eagles? Who are you rooting for?
Chiefs for that reason.
Chiefs for that reason? Okay, I have to say I'm rooting for the Eagles, but I wish it was the Lions. Thank you for tuning in to Carolina Week. We will see you again next Wednesday.